What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and in this video I want to talk about one huge mistake that skinny guys make and why it's killing your ability to gain weight and build muscle. All right? Oftentimes we are told that if we want to gain weight, especially when we are naturally thin, we should eat everything in sight, right? The see food, eat food diet. If you see food, you eat it. The problem with that is very simple, okay? It makes sense, however, from a practical standpoint, it just doesn't work. And here's why. We're skinny because we don't have much of an appetite. We don't have much of an appetite because over the years, we've never been the kind of person to eat a lot of food, and thus our stomachs are very small. And so what happens when we try to consume a lot of food is that we get stuffed really quickly, right? Or we can have one big meal and then not eat for another 6 to 8 hours just because we're still satisfied. So when we follow this see food, eat food approach and we start trying to eat everything in sight, right? We might reach a calorie goal for the day that does put us in a caloric surplus, which is necessary if we want to grow. However, the following day, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to even meet our maintenance calories. We're going to be so full and stuffed from the day before that if we try to do this for a second day, it's just not going to be possible. In fact, we might not even be able to hit our maintenance calories. So what ends up happening? Over the course of the week, you have these days where you're eating in this huge surplus. And then that's followed by a day where maybe you're not eating as much because you're still full, right? And this could happen for the next day or two, or maybe even 3. And so when you look at the week in its entirety, what ends up happening is, although we had a lot of calories on one day, all of the days where we had maintenance calories or lower balances it all out. And so we end up maybe gaining a little bit of weight for the week or staying the same. So what I recommend is a more strategic approach. Okay, you've probably heard me tell guys, hey, if you want to gain weight, just take your body weight, multiply it by 20 and eat that many calories, and that will work. The problem is that a lot of people, specifically naturally skinny guys, aren't going to be able to eat that much right away. So here's what I'd recommend. Start at 16 times your body weight instead. And I want you to do that for a week. Okay? Once your body is acclimated to that number of calories, I want you to increase it slightly, right? So maybe add another 250 calories. Okay, it's going to be very easy for you to now stomach an additional 250 calories. Do that for another week. And then by the second or third week, you've increased your caloric intake from that body weight times 16 by about 500 calories. For most people, this is going to be enough to move the scale. However, if it's not a problem. Continue to eat this many calories for another week. Get adjusted and get acclimated to eating that much. All right, what's happening is now we are training our appetite, right? The number of calories that we eat, along with the frequency in which we eat meals every day, will allow us over time to adapt to that schedule, to that structure, to that number of calories. So our stomach expands and our appetite increases. And on top of that, we've trained our appetite to be hungry during certain times in the day. So you'll do that for another week, and then you'll again increase your calories slightly by another 100 to 250. All right, this is a long-term approach. This is not about stuffing your face in order to gain 5 pounds in a week. This is about allowing your body time to get used to the higher numbers of calories or the higher number of calories and allow you to, again, sustain a diet where you can eat in a surplus without having to feel like you're force feeding yourself. And that ultimately, over the long term, will do you much better than trying to stuff your face with calories. Another reason that you don't want to do that is because even if you are successful, the number of calories that you do consume end up being much more than you actually need, and thus you'll end up building some muscle but gaining a lot of fat in the process. And I know at this point you're not worried about fat gain, but trust me, over the long term it's something that you want to mitigate. So again, Ditch the seafood diet. Be strategic. Multiply your body weight by 16. Eat that much. Do that for a week. Let your body get used to eating that much. Then increase your calories slightly and continue this gradual process. In the meantime, while you're doing this, continue to track your weight every day and get averages every week to ensure that you are in fact eating enough to gain weight. And as long as you're not gaining weight, all you have to do is continue this gradual increase in calories until you're at a point where you are. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I know it was a long video for a very simple message, but it's extremely important, all right, especially for us naturally skinny guys. Now, I got a gift for you. If you haven't already, make sure to grab my Bulk Up Fast book, absolutely free. All you have to do is cover the shipping. I've already paid for the book. So go to the link in my description, tell me where to send it, and cover the small shipping fee, and it'll be delivered to your doorstep. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll talk soon.